Hey everybody, we're excited to have Aerial Stanford as our speaker tonight. She is the queen of the Silver Valley, is our nickname that we've given her. And I don't know if you guys remember, if you were here last month, you guys said, we want more case studies. We want more people talking about their investing journeys. And so that inspired us to go out and get Aerial to come and have her tell us hers. So thanks for being here.
You're welcome.
Welcome.
All right. So my name is Aerial Stanford, and I am in Sandpoint, but I invest in the Silver Valley. I lived over there, fell in love with a lot of the folks in the valley. They've got some fun stuff to do, and it's just a neat little niche. So I have a son who was wanting to get out of Coeur d'Alene, got pushed out of Coeur d'Alene, and so we had to come up with a strategy for him and for myself. And so I started Legacy Investing Group, LLC, and it's 4 kids. I have 4 kids that I am responsible for, and it is for our future. So, let's see, there we go. I started out about 1 month shy of turning 60, and a couple failed marriages, so I was really on my own. No retirement. There's not a 401k that came with my homemaker status, and no investment experience. My grandfather, both of my grandfathers had rental properties, but my parents never wanted to do that. So they just there was nobody to educate us on the building wealth that way and having those properties. So, but I had this great desire as a stay-at-home mom. I had, like I said, responsible for 4 kids, and I really was always under that crunch, the budget crunch, always, always, always. There was no planning for the future. There was no college funds. There was just nothing other than day-to-day existence. And I didn't want that for my grandkids. I had been brought up to where we had something given to us. There was always something left. And so that was a huge desire, but I'm like, how am I going to do that? I don't even know where my own retirement is going to come. So how am I going to support this next generation? So I had a, let's see, not working right?
Down arrow.
Down arrow, there we go, okay. So I needed some inspiration. I had a new employment opportunity to happen, and when I did that, I landed in a very fun office with Caitlin and Emma and Tyler, and they provided a influence on me. They invited me to these meetings. I'm always have these ears where I'm in the office, I'm in a meeting, I always pick up background conversations. So I'd hear them talking about what they're doing, what their plans are. They're super energetic, motivated people. And so they inspired me, they influenced me to come to these meetings. And then I got this job, and my job was as a secretary, did a little bit of accounting and stuff, and then I got thrown into the wonderful world of project management and site superintendent for a builder. I love building. I've always done that ever since I was a little kid. I built Barbie dream houses and from scratch. I was always building something. So that is a passion of mine. And so with this job, I got to be part of building homes, connecting people with the home of their dreams, and found out that that is something that I really, really enjoy doing. So because of Caitlin and Emma's wholesaling adventures, we got to looking for my little place. So the first one that we got was 106 Western. It's in Silverton, Idaho, which is right outside of Wallace. Great little place to be. And we purchased my first home December 10th of 21. It was purchased to be a primary residence, and that was going to be a primary residence for my son, his girlfriend, their little daughter, and then myself. How are we going to fit that big family into a 2-1 little tiny 600 square foot house? Well, we wanted to add an additional ADU with that property. So we were looking for a specific kind of property, and these gals helped me find that. So we were able to do that. I have aging parents up here in Sandpoint, and I don't know if any of you are caretakers, but it is a demanding job, especially when you have a full-time job, then you have the caretaking of them, and then we have a 5-acre property with animals here. So I'm a busy gal, but I am motivated and very energetic. So I was able to do that, and I wanted to start this home to be the first of our legacy. It's a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, just about 700 square feet, built in 1940. It's got a 2-car garage, and the lot is a tiny, non-conforming lot in the Silver Valley. They just used to put things all kind of willy-nilly there. It's a mining town, and people just kind of did what they wanted to back then. Purchase price was $171. Estimated value right now is $235. So not bad for a 2-year investment. It is still remaining at this time a primary residence for my son and his family. So there's a little ADU potential garage that we had. So there's a 2-car garage bay. It has a loft in it, and then it also has a small room on the back of it. Problem was, we didn't look at the laws, the zoning. Can't add any other living space to that property. So there goes my ADU, there goes my escape up to the Silver Valley when I need time away. But we came along and talking to Emma and realized we can utilize that and rent it out as shop space or storage space. So we have plans to do that. You can see the electric wire. My electrician about killed me when he took a good look at it as he was putting in our new panel. Those panels are pretty scary in the Silver Valley. And he said he would not hook it up. So I am in the process of rewiring the garage so that we can have electricity and be able to offer that. And then our hope is in the next couple months we'll be bringing that onto the market as storage space, which will provide an additional income for that property. So love for me is my biggest motivation, and I decided to get motivated on learning how to love myself after giving and giving and giving. So I made myself a Valentine's goal that I was going to have my second piece of property, and I was going to close that on Valentine's Day. And I spoke that goal here, and it happened on Valentine's Day. So I was like, I think I really kind of got a thing going here. We bought the goat shed. That was a wholesale deal brought to us by Emma and Caitlin. The reason it is called a goat shed is that this property had an existing tenant in it. She was an elderly lady who had a support goat. The video of them doing the walkthrough of this property was hilarious because the people kept trying to shove this goat outside and pretend that it didn't belong inside. The goat was trying to make its way to its blanket where there was all kinds of straw and poop, and yeah, the goat lived in the house. So I love goats. I'm a farm girl, so it was all right. So on this, I did have a partner. They were the money part of the partnership, and then my son and I took an entire summer of weekends renovating this property. I've got some before and afters because it was quite the deal. Lots of cigarette smoke, dirt, disrepair. I said despair when I was first typing it, and that's about accurate too. So this is what love can do. This is the front yard before and after. The back lot. This was literally a RV of some sort, camper maybe, that basically disintegrated in the backyard. So we had these pieces and parts of that to get rid of. Shoshone County is really a great county, but when you start bringing in this kind of debris, they kind of start asking questions and they kind of want some money out of you. So we did have to pay some dump fees on that when we were doing the demo. But this is the back door and the before and after. You can see the hay that was left behind that had not been eaten. I did learn something. You don't want to ever take hay and try to burn it in a fire pit. Don't do it. It smoked out our neighbors. I had the fire department. I had everybody coming at us. So, and then we were trying to wet it down, and all it does is smolder and make more smoke. So that was not a favorite neighbor at the time. And this is the little side porch, pretty much in disrepair, and we got it looking pretty good. North side of the house, and I probably have that wrong because when I go to the Silver Valley, I get completely turned around. North, south, east, west does not make sense to me over there. The south side was, again, it was a garbage pit, had some fascia and soffit fallen down. The roof is in halfway decent repair. We needed to tighten it down, some screws and stuff like that. There was a little bit of a leak that we patched, and then we were good to go. But eventually, that might need to be redone. So here's your welcome, and then you're welcome. Again, you can see where they had pictures hanging up on the wall. That's years and years and years of nicotine and what it does to a place. We had masks, we had gloves, we suited up to do the demo on this one. It was pretty bad, besides the goat stuff. This is what we found in the living room, left behind for us. Ripped out this crazy laminate type flooring, and we ended up putting LVP throughout the whole house, which was a really nice touch. It's amazing. You can kind of see how bad those windows were. They were streaked with nicotine. Simply Green, that works really good to get that stuff off. But it will stain your hands, and it's pretty nasty stuff. The bathroom was disgusting. We kept trying to figure out how to deal with that surround, and we needed to, it was cracked and it was old, and we kept trying to put up different makeshift ways, and my son and I finally just said we can't handle it anymore and brought in a really good buddy, and he did an amazing tile job for us. So it looks, I wish I had that shower. It's very nice.
Aerial actually cleaned up silver gray, all the smoke stuff you guys repaint.
Yeah. Primer, I used oil-based kills. I went that route because it just gave me the coverage that I needed very fast, and then sprayed the paint on, and you can't smell it. It really did the trick. So, yep. And like I said, we knew to go with the oil base. So, highly recommend that route. It has 2 bedrooms. First bedroom had carpet. There was this really cool old linoleum. I wanted to try to somehow salvage it, and we ended up just cutting it, making little picture frames out of it as little mementos. Because I kind of like the old vintage stuff. But again, just LVP throughout. The second bedroom had an area where the roof had been leaking, and so we had to cut into that. My son and I have never done this stuff. We just figured it out. Pretty handy kid. So, and I love it. Like I said, this is a passion I have. It's like, give me a cut up, wall down house, and I will be a happy girl. I love rebuilding it. So we were able to do that. I was able to find out that I'm a pretty good texture, and I was able to match the existing texture from back then, and that was a really fun project for me. So we got that done. The kitchen was amazing. We basically gutted the whole thing. We ripped the whole kitchen out down to the studs and rebuilt it back up, threw in these cabinets. That refrigerator went to the dump. It was bad. Again, LVP throughout the whole part of it. New counters, cabinets, whole bit, new appliances. These people, it was such a sad situation. They lived like this. And it was just, broke my heart. So the thing about wholesaling is they had a way out. They were able to. And we didn't think we were going to get them out. It was really dicey because I had to go in as the buyer and tell these tenants they needed to find a place to live. But we were able to actually help them do that. And it worked out really, really well for them. So they got some help and got rid of some adult kids that weren't helping them. So that was good. Yeah. And then there's a whole nother little laundry room. It had those peel down or pick up pieces of carpeting. We just gave it a good pressure washing and steam clean. All the goat hair and stuff, because the goat lived a lot of its time out there. And again, nicotine was out. I mean, the whole house was yellow and oily and greasy throughout the whole entire house. The basement had some issues, and so we were able to go in, we were able to mitigate that. Not sure exactly what that was, but we were able to mitigate it, put your kills on it, and get it repainted. And then the basement had a non-conforming bedroom. In the Silver Valley, there's an EPA, thing going on, and so in order to dig in the Silver Valley, you have to be Dirty Dirt certified, which is really not a big deal, but you do have to go through the certification, and you have to, it can be costly to dump that dirt. So there are some hoops, but eventually we thought about putting in some kind of an egress window in the basement. The basement has, and I don't have pictures of it, but we put in a wall. This stairways going down is really wide, and it is out to the backyard. So you could turn this into an ADU if you got that egress window, and there is room to put a small bathroom downstairs. So that is a possible future deal that we want to do. I love this house. It was kind of my first big deal. It originally was going to be a flip, but at the time that we were finishing it up, the rental market was really good in the Silver Valley. So we hung on to that property. And I'm in the process of working with Brett, and I will be buying my partner out. Hopefully we'll be doing that at the end of June. And I will be moving my family that lives in Silverton to this bigger house. It's got a double lot, and the kids are going to have room to grow some more. So
What are you going to be looking for rent?
this one, when we originally rented it, was $1,700, so not bad. But we're currently renting it for $1,450, 150 utilities. So it's doing pretty good for us. I did try to manage. What I found that was really hard by managing when I live here is vetting people there. They would get vetted through and get rejected from the property management companies there, and that's the people that were wanting to rent from me. I had the ability to run them through my program, and I had a real tough time finding qualified people. So I have a property over there, VIP Rentals is who is managing this house, and then another house for me right now. My goal is, because I'm a property manager here, is I'm learning my trade, and my goal is when I go to retire, I'll be managing my own properties over there.
Remind me, I'll give you his contact. I just talked to this lady who finds she connects landlords and tenants for the mine up there.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, so sounds like they're like higher up, but they're like sometimes like the executives.
Gotcha.
A little bit.
Our first tenants came to the area. They were from Les Schwab. He had gotten a promotion from them. And then we got news that there was an illness in their immediate family, and they just basically bailed on us. So that was a little bit tough, but we were able to find another couple. So I have a retired couple that live there now, and they're doing really well. I'm hoping that maybe when I make this change, again, I'm going to be asking them to leave. I'm hoping that, they possibly will, be able to help them find another place. But that's for a little later. So third time's a charm. I have 3 sets of grandkids, and so my plan is to have a home for each of them. So I accomplished that by buying this cute little house right up the street from Emma. On Division, I closed that in August of 2022. So from December 2021 to August of 2022, I have 3 houses. So what wholesale is, they found this property. I don't know, how did you guys DoorDash, or how did you do this one? DoorDash. Okay, so they send out a mailer saying we're interested. So they were able to find that seller that was not, on the market at that time. And then they secured that deal, brought it to me, and I was like, yes, I want it. I want that one. I love those maple trees. It's a lot of cleanup, but it's really pretty. So at the time that I bought this house, I purchased it. There was an elderly tenant in it, and the owner was offering financing because she wanted that tenant to be able to remain in that home. He'd been in that home, gosh, like 10, 15 years, a long time. And he had actually done quite a bit of work and improvements on the home. So I said that would be great. They offered a 2-year contract, interest-only payment of $200 a month. The rent was $400 a month. So it was like, well, that's kind of a no-brainer. And then it was kind of right as we were closing the deal, he pulls me aside the first time I met him, and he tells me that he's moving in with his nephew. So I was under contract, so we just, okay, that's great. Happy to have you, whatever you need. So before I even was finished and had the keys, he was basically moved out. So that was, and at that time, rent was still really high. I think I rented that house the first time for $1,700. So a month, which was crazy. It is currently renting right now for $1,250. I just signed another year lease with my tenants that were in a 6-month lease. So that's a win-win for me because that means that I guess I'm doing a pretty good job. I'm providing a nice home. So, and they want to stay. We're going to be looking at refinancing this home late summer of 2024. I need to finance out of this private loan. So I am looking for somebody to help me do that. And right now, like I said, it's under a current 12-month lease, and it will be on our portfolio as a rental property. This one is 2 bedrooms, 1 bath, 686 square feet. I love the little 2-1s. Built in 1940, lots 27. We purchased it at $170, and its estimated value is about $220. Very, very comparable to what Emma has. So not a bad deal. And on this house, the only thing I did is I went in, cleaned it, did new paint. Pretty much that's it. And it was rent ready. So I didn't have any big investment in this one yet. I do have some plans that I want to do, little things. Big plans for the future. Our family is continuing to grow. I am going to be getting that 3rd set of grandkids. I currently have 2, so we've got 1 on the way. By the end of 2025, I would like to make the following changes. I want to take the 106 Western, which is now the primary home. I want to make that a short-term rental because I like to go to the Silver Valley, so I can have some flexibility and stay there when I want to stay there and rent it when I don't. It is a really cute little house, being so close to Wallace, and Wallace has something going on all the time. So we're going to look into that. C Street house is going to become the primary residence for my son, with a future of adding an ADU. That is a double lot. I have checked the zoning because I learned from my first one, and we will be able to do that. Probably do a shop with an ADU, mother-in-law quarters or space, just since garages are pretty, like I said, they're not a very lot of them in the older neighborhoods and homes. So they really want to shop. And then 507 Division will be getting some updating to the interior. I hate my kitchen floor, so I want to change that. And then hopefully with those updates, we'll be able to raise up that rent just a little bit, freshen it up, make it a little bit more modern, and add some value to it. So hoping to add an additional rental property to the Silver Valley by 2025. So I am looking for a really good deal. I would love to do the one in Mullen because I've got dreams and plans for it, but I don't have time because I work here, live here, take care of my parents, try to run this whole thing, and I also have a little farm sitting, pet sitting business on the side too. So I'm too busy to do a remodel, even though I want to do one. So that's Legacy Investing Group, and we are blessed to be a blessing. So Thank you. Yes.
Okay, I have 2 questions.
Yes.
The first question is, you said that you had no experience improving a home on your first home.
No.
Right? Did your son have experience?
No.
Wow. That's pretty
We're handy folks, and we've been taught little things from parents, but no, I needed to plumb a whole kitchen, and I got on YouTube and just figured out. I love plumbing now. I hate electricity, but I love plumbing. It's fun. But yeah, I don't know. Like I said, we just sought out that information as we needed. I love a fun plumbing story. They have the cutest little Ace Hardware down there, and I went in because that property was grandfathered in with a double S, and it couldn't be that way. It had to be vented because it was an interior one, and so I didn't know how to do that. So I went to the plumbing store, or the hardware store, and this gentleman there took me under his wing, went and grabbed all the parts, laid it on the table exactly how it needed to be. I took a picture of it, and I went home, and that's what I did, made it. So it just, it kind of, if you bat your eyes a little bit, it helps. I won't lie. But yeah, just get in, learn how to do it. YouTube's a great way to learn some things. So that's what it is.
Second question is, what happened to the goat?
The goat went with the people. I don't know how how do you find a rental with a goat? But I did not keep the goat. Yes.
You're the hardest working person I've ever known. You're my friend. I love you, and I'm so proud of you. Talk about, like, you're not giving handouts to your kid.
No.
I just don't see you handing out any goodies gifts to your kids here. What are you kind of doing with your legacy and how they need to earn it?
Right. So my son, the youngest one, who was probably my hardest and the most spoiled, had to work his tail off. He is a very busy dad of 2 little kids, a up and coming chef now in Coeur d'Alene, and so that he also works very, very hard. But that was the thing. He doesn't get to earn it. He has to pay the mortgage on this house. That's his deal. I'm not gonna, do it. I do offer them some flexibility, and we just kind of flow with things. But yeah, he has to earn it. The way that I'm structuring it actually is my kids will not be owning anything. My grandkids are the ones that I'm creating the legacy for. Just that different layer of being able to, my kids are going to be hard pressed to make their own homes and their own choices and stuff like that. And I got to thinking, it's just like, if they can barely afford their own place, how are they going to save and invest and stuff? So I'm teaching them along the way. My goal is, I hope they will use these properties to create more for themselves, but each set of grandchildren will be the benefactors of that. So that's how I've structured it. I'm going to be talking to you to kind of structure some things a little bit different, but that's the ultimate goal. And my other goal with them is, my middle son is in Colorado Springs. He's already a smart investor, smart guy with his money. And he says, I don't need it. I have my kids' blessing to bless their kids. So that's kind of our approach. But yeah, the kids themselves, they were at the goat house working, the ones that were old enough. And so we're teaching that work ethic, teaching them how to do this. My oldest grandson, he's not really a worker with his hands. He was the babysitter half the time because he just didn't want to. But the kid is smart. And so I'm actually teaching him about the financing part of this. That's what he likes. And so he's learning how to finance it. We do mock-ups. He helps me look at deals. I'm teaching him the spreadsheets that I learned from these guys on how to do it. And so he has to look for deals and tell me whether they're good deals or not. So I'm trying to work it that way so that he has some foot in there. But yeah, the other 2 are little. We'll see what they do. Right now, they just run around. So, any other questions? Yes.
I don't have a question, but I just want to give you some praise, because I feel like
thank you.
come to these meetings and like, oh, I want to invest, and then they just never do. So I think it's like cool. I feel like you and I started going to these meetings.
We did.
Look at us now, we're taking over the Silver Valley.
Yeah.
I
Yes.
think it's just cool. You were like, your story with the smoker house, like we were doing stuff on the street about the same time.
Yeah.
It was like, very similar story. We were yelling at each other trying to go to Ace. I'm like, Ace doesn't have it.
Yeah.
Go to this other
Hanging doors.
That sells like some tools. Yeah.
Hanging doors. That just about did my son and I in. Pre-hung doors and trying to frame in a wall and hang it. We wanted to kill each other. In fact, he left me that night, said he was done. He wasn't going to work this hard for me, and I reminded him it wasn't for me, that he was working for himself. But he stormed out. I, being stubborn, I slept on that hardwood floor because I wouldn't go back to his house. I was going to teach him a lesson. And yes, yeah, it didn't work out so well, but he did bring me coffee in the morning and apologize. So, thank you so much. Well, you guys really are the inspiration. So, you told me I could do it, so I did. Yeah. Yeah.
You partnered with somebody to buy the C Street deal, and so you're buying them out now, right? But I just wanted to say that sometimes where there's a will, there's a way, and you might not be able to just go and buy a house.
That's right.
Maybe you just don't have money. That doesn't mean you can't get a house, so you have to figure out a way to bring the value, partner with somebody, get it done, and now how many years later you're gonna, and you're just pulling, how are you buying them out with the equity from another one?
I am going to use some of the equity from my other, and then I have, I'm using my future inheritance that I have sitting up here. My parents bought at the right time in Sandpoint, and so I'm sitting on some equity here, so I can tap into that.
You can just figure it out. If
Yep.
you really want to buy a house, find somebody who will
Yep.
help you. Tyler did the same thing for me.
Yep.
And,
Tyler helped them when I wired herself.
Yep.
So just talk to Tyler.
Well, and then again, I mean, I work 3 jobs, but it's for a reason, and I have the energy now, so I'm using the energy and the smarts and the influence that I can gather and making connections now so that I can build something for us later. So, yeah, it's fun.
I have a vision too, because I would watch. I probably would watch.
I've always, yes. And like I said, I discovered it's a passion. I am driven to do that. And I'm, like I said, I'm chomping at the bit right now because I want another flip really bad right now. But I know I do have limits and I'm listening to that. So I am 62 years old. So I've got to slow down somewhat so that I can be around and play with them. But it is a passion. It just, like I said, give me a dirty old ripped up place and I'm like, I'm going to make that thing shine. I'm a queen. So, thank you.